From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, former Deputy Prime Minister Paula Bennett says National will have an easier go of it if it has to negotiate with ACT alone. Recent polls have fluctuated on whether a potential National ACT pairing would need New Zealand First to form a coalition. Bennett, who was part of negotiations with Peters during 2017, says while he's a charming and gentleman, Winston Peters is wily to deal with. She said despite that, she's sure the three of them could come to some kind of arrangement.
But look, they will be interested in forming a government. You know, all three of them, they will want to try and make it work. And I would think that they probably would, and you would see everyone on their best behaviour for the first few months anyway.
Meanwhile, the ACT Party has been pressed on whether its money laundering proposals could actually make it easier for people to break the law. ACT wants to reduce compliance costs associated with money laundering legislation by streamlining the process. Leader David Seymour says there are too many stringent requirements.
It's time to give a break to people making minor transactions multiple times from having to constantly fill out extra paperwork without any real improvement in the safety of New Zealand or the prevention of money laundering.
A Democratic senator has been accused of pulling the fire alarm in the US Capitol ahead of a critical Senate vote. The House of Representatives has voted to pass a last-minute stopgap deal to avert a government shutdown. But just before the vote, Senator Jamal Bowman accidentally opened a fire door on his way into the House. Sky News Australia's Annalise Nielsen says it's hit a nerve with Republicans.
Many of those people involved with January 6 have been prosecuted over disrupting that normal course of government. It's what Donald Trump's been pursued over, of course, very different circumstances, but at the basis, the same idea.
New Zealand is formally changing how COVID cases are treated. Te Whatu Ora says antiviral prescriptions will be the focus of primary and community pharmacy care from today. The eligibility criteria include being over 65 and having needed critical hospital care because of the virus. That's news. In sport, Tottenham and Arsenal are the only remaining unbeaten English Premier League sides and have closed the gap on leaders Manchester City to 1 point. Spurs have edged Liverpool 2-1 courtesy of a 96-minute own goal from defender Joel Matip. Meanwhile, the Gunners have blasted Bournemouth 4-0 and City have lost to Wolves 2-1, their first defeat of the season. Coach Kevin Walters is adamant the Broncos will be at full strength for tonight's NRL Grand Final against the Penrith Panthers in Sydney. Fullback Reece Walsh, captain Adam Reynolds and centre Herbie Farnworth were all nursing left leg issues at training this week. Walters says they'll all be fine.
A couple of guys still a little bit sore on Tuesday from the game on Saturday night, but we're trained strongly today and everyone trained for the full predicament, so we'll be 1-17.
That's sport. I'm Sandy Hodge.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.